Trophy Wine Hunter here. Welcome to my Alsace wine journey. I hope that if you like my videos, you'll subscribe to this channel and my other channel, the Trophy Wine Hunter. Today, I'm very excited to drink a iconic wine, which is from the winery Trimbach. We're drinking their 2018 classic Riesling or yellow label. Very interesting history. It was established in 1626 by Jean Trimbach, but it's actually called F.E Trimbach, so it's named after another Trimbach, which was Frederic Emile. And so he, in the 1800s, in 1828, he brought the wine to a Brussels wine fair, and they won a top award there and really elevated the class of the name of the winery. So it's, this winery started in a place called Ribeauville, and if you're familiar with my other videos, that's kind of where the starting place of another famous winery called Hune is. And then they moved in after World War I to a very close by place called Ribeauville. So if you just look at a kind of a map of Alsace, this is Alsace. Ribeauville is going to be in the middle. A little bit higher is going to be Ribeauville, and then down here is Pfaffenheim, which is another wine that I have reviewed on this channel. Trimbach is a very interesting winery in that the 11th, the 12th, and 13th generation of their family are involved in the winery. So let me try and get this straight. So the 11th generation is Hubert and Bernard, and Hubert really manages the estate at this point. Bernard has two sons, which are the 12th generation. Those are Jean and Pierre, and they basically more work on the marketing and PR side of things. And then Pierre has an oldest daughter who is called Anne, and that's the 13th generation, and then she's also involved in marketing of the wine. And Jean's son, who's also a 13th generation, called Julien, will be the new winemaker eventually. So the winery makes 95,000 cases of wine a year. It's a huge estate. And so if you kind of look at my other videos, they're part of the TBH wineries, Trimbach, Leon Bayer, and Hune, who don't subscribe to the Grand Cru Clos St system in Alsace. And if you want more explanation of that, please look at my video on the Hune wine that I reviewed. That will give you a kind of a summary of what they had, what issues they had. But essentially what happened, these three wineries who are top-end wineries said the whole system, the Grand Cru system, is bogus, and it's not, doesn't value the top wineries. It kind of doesn't have any use because it's not just the top wineries. It's kind of, you give it to a lot of people that don't deserve it. Anyways, they kind of Trimbach actually ended that kind of stance in 2008, and they do produce wines that are Grand Cru right now. That are labeled Grand Cru. Having said that, they have some of their most famous wines are still what I would call Super Alsatian wines, because they're very similar to Super Tuscan wines in that they kind of overwhelm or exceed the notoriety of the actual wines itself, the Grand Cru wines itself. And the two wines I'm talking about is Cuvee Frederic Emile and also Clos St. Hune. So both of these wines actually are their own names, just like that's why I call them Super Alsatians. They're just made up names. But in fact, for instance, Cuvee Frederic Emile, that is really made up of grapes from the Grand Cru vineyards of Geisburg and Ostenburg, and same thing with Clos St. Hune. Mostly it's made up of grapes from the Grand Cru vineyard of Rosaker. But again, there are other wineries that have vineyards there. So instead of just naming it a Grand Cru Rosaker wine or a Grand Cru Geisburg wine, their reputation is even higher than that, so they don't really need them. Again, a huge wine conglomerate. They have over 105 acres under their control. 45 are their own, 60 are under contract. Of that, 30% is Grand Cru vineyards. A little bit about the wine. It's priced at BC liquor stores for $33.99, and so it is, like many Alsatian wines, hand harvested. It's a slow and cool fermentation. It's bottled early so that it retains freshness and acidity. Their style is they don't want a heavy wine. They don't want a sweet wine. They want fruity without being sweet. It's more a restrained, refined taste. They're really a Riesling expert. So 50% of their holdings, their vineyard is Riesling. So they're really and their top wines really are Rieslings. This wine, they make 29,000 cases of this wine in itself. So it's a big seller for them. It is aged in cellar for 1 year. They don't use oak, obviously. They put them in stainless steel or in very old vats that really retain no oak at all in them. So a little bit about the year 2018. As I said in my other videos, the vintages are getting better and better at Alsace, and it's a crazy deal now. You're getting crazy value for what you're paying at Alsace. People just, maybe it's because the bottle shape or whatever, they just don't realize the quality of Alsace wines. It's crazy to me. 2018, great year. They had lots of rain in the first 7 months, and if you watch my other videos, it is a very arid desert type region with the mountains blocking the rain, but they did have a lot of rain. And then they had a very long and hot growing season in the last part of the year. Really good for ripening the grape. Okay, so here's the bottle. You'll see on the top it says F.E Trimbach, which is Frederic Emile Trimbach, 2018. It's Riesling since 1626. And then I'm going to just look at the cork here from behind here. Fairly simple cork. It's not huge, not long in length, so you'll think that it's not going to be a wine that you have to age for a long time. And then on the, it looks like I would say a light, almost pineapple yellow color, or straw yellow color. Let's taste the wine. So on the nose, when I first opened it, it had a little bit of petrol gassy smell. That's gone, but that actually might come back with age. Yeah, I love you can see in the glass, it's viscous, it's kind of nice. The smell is, I would say pears. It's tropical. It's not, again, when I smell Sauvignon Blanc, I smell a lot more acidity, a lot more lime and lemon citrus. I would say this is more tropical fruit, like pineapple, like apricots. Yeah, so less intense. It's still very aromatic. Let's taste it. You know, on the taste, you get like almost like a stony or flintiness. That's what I get at the end. At the beginning, I get again, not with other wines, you'd get acidity like citrus, lemon, lime. You don't really get that. You get more like apricot, a flintiness, like mineralious, like rocks, like wet rocks. So it's kind of, but it's very it's very sophisticated. It's not it's very palatable, very pleasing. It's quite mellow. It's hard to describe in that way. It's not searing. It doesn't jump out at you. It's very balanced. Yeah, it's all in balance. So the acidity, I would say, is medium to medium plus, but the body is also medium plus. So it's kind of hard to describe, but even though you feel the acidity at first, the body kind of comes up and it kind of balances it. So it's kind of just intense. It makes it quite intense. I've had this now with food also. I had it for dinner with food. It pairs exceptional with food. If you have salads, chicken, like roasted chicken, it goes really well. By itself as a drinking wine, it is a bit on the acidic side. So it does need some food, and it's quite heavy. It's if you have a stereotypical idea of Riesling being sweet and light, this will change your mind completely about Riesling. This is not sweet at all. This is not light at all. So it's very it's got a lot of weight on the wine. It's not sweet at all, and this is a really good example of what it means to be fruity but not sweet. It's not like ice wine or BC Riesling sweet or BC Gewürztraminer sweet. It's fruity, but the fruit is it's not what we would say is sweet. It's a fruit sweet. So again, it's like apricots. It's like peach pits, orange grind, with at the end some minerality and some flintiness. Really exceptional wine. The alcohol content is 13%. You don't feel the alcohol, but you know it's got some intensity in terms of the alcohol. You can kind of, you know it in your mind because of the complexity and the heaviness of the wine. Final thoughts on this wine. I really like this wine. I'm surprised actually, again, with my Alsace wine journey. I'm really surprised because Riesling I always thought of as light and fruit and sweet. This is kind of blows my mind completely. And anyone who drinks this, I think, would be very, very surprised about the quality. Price is great. I don't have a Wine Spectator rating for this vintage. I'm going to rate it 90 points, maybe even 91 points. Terrific wine. I just don't. It's great. The quality is great. It's wonderful for a food. I almost wanted to rate it lower because it was like, it's just the entry level. If I'm rating their entry level 90 points, think about their better wines. It must be exceptional. So I'm gonna try and buy their higher end wines and review those, because if I'm so excited with this wine, I can't imagine how good their top end wines are gonna taste. Hope you enjoyed this review. Please keep watching. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to my other channel, which is the Trophy Wine Hunter. And until next time, happy drinking.